Hello and welcome to The Eye, your English news bulletin. I'm Esther. These are the headlines. The Kohima bench of the Guwahati High Court stayed Nagaland's order asking government employees to get fully vaccinated or produce COVID-19 negative reports every 15 days. The Central Board of Secondary Education has declared the Class 12 results with 99.37% students having passed the exam this year. The family of Olympian Mary Kom says that the boxing champ is gutted over the decision of the judges. Now for the news in details. The Central Board of Secondary Education has declared the Class 12 results. This year, 99.37% students have passed the exam. Girls have outshined boys by 0.54%. The pass percentage of girls is 99.67%, while that of the boys is 99.13%.
Of the candidates who registered for the exam, as many as 12,96,318 have cleared the exam. The result of over 65,184 students is not yet declared today. According to the press release issued by the Central Board of Secondary Education, the marks of 65,184 candidates would be declared by August 5th as their results is under process. A total of 70,004 students have scored over 95% marks in the CBSE 12 result 2021, while a total of 1,50,152 students backed between 90% to 95%. The Delhi region has scored a pass percentage of 99.84. Of the total 2,91,606 students, 2,91,135 have been declared pass. Of the total 1,70,016 foreign students, a total of 1,70,003 have passed the CBSE Class 12 exams this year, taking the pass percentage of foreign students to 99.92. For the first time, foreign students can also get their digital mark sheets on their email through CBSE DigiLocker page, the CBSE said in a notice. CBSE will provide digital academic documents with mark sheets, passing certificates, migration certificates and skills certificates through its own academic repository Parinam Manjusha, which is integrated with DigiLocker, cbse.digitallocker.gov.in, the board said in a release. As the exams could not be held amid the second wave of COVID, the board has not released any merit list this year along with the CBSE Class 12 results 2021.
The Kohima bench of the Guwahati High Court stayed Nagaland's order asking government employees to get fully vaccinated or produce COVID-19 negative reports every 15 days, adding to a growing debate on the legality of compulsory vaccination and its potential impact on fundamental rights.
The decision, which was made public on Thursday, came on a public interest legislation challenging the government's July 17 order issued by the Chief Secretary. The verdict comes days after a similar judgment by the Manipur High Court. In the order, Nagaland told the staff of the Civil Secretariat and Directorates to get vaccinated or produce COVID-19 negative test reports every 15 days to attend office, failing which the government would stop paying their salaries beyond July 31st and they will be sent on unpaid forced leave. During Wednesday's hearing, the government advocates objected on maintainability of the PIL and submitted that no interim order be passed. However, the court ordered a stay on the government order and directed to list the matter on August 18 along with similar other PILs on the same issue. Till the returnable date, fees should not be charged for testing from government employees and their salaries should not be stopped for reason of not having been vaccinated, the court stated. The court also kept the question on maintainability of the PIL open for the sake of clarity. This is the most recent in a raft of similar orders and observations by high courts.
The Northeast Students Organization, or NESO, which comprises of the Kasi Students Union, All Assam Students Union, Naga Students Federation, Mizo Zirlai Paul, Twipra Students Federation, All Manipur Students Union, Garo Students Union and All Arunachal Pradesh Students Union, representing 8 major students' movement in the 7 northeastern states, through a press release expressed its anguish and disbelief at the recent border conflicts along the Assam-Mizoram boundary, which had taken a huge toll on human lives, injuries to scores of people, and destruction to people's property.
The release stated that the clashes that erupted in the border of these two states sent shock waves throughout the entire region as news from ground zero kept spreading like wildfire. The fragile situation along the Assam-Mizoram border is a reminder of how vulnerable security of border residents can be when such conflicts arise, the organization said, citing past incidents where many lives were lost along the Assam-Meghalaya, Assam-Nagaland and Assam-Arunachal borders. The organization felt that many levels of boundary talks bear no solution to this plaguing problem. Further, the release stated that the NESO had been sending numerous appeals to various state governments in the region to resolve the complex boundary dispute with utmost sincerity so as to maintain peace and harmony amongst the indigenous communities of Northeast. The NESO had also requested the central government to intervene in the best interest of the stakeholders on many occasions. Recently, the organization sent a representation to the Union Home Minister Amit Shah on the vexed border issues during his visit to Meghalaya. Understanding that border disputes vary and differs from area to area, however, NESO has strongly urged all state governments to be committed to solve this long-pending problem once and for all, and if necessary, the central government should be a part in these dialogues. The NESO further called upon all the indigenous peoples that this issue is not an ethnic issue but of border dispute in which the respective state governments are duty-bound to solve. If a solution is arrived whereby borders will be properly demarcated with a unanimous settlement, then peace will usher between different states and the people residing along the borders can live without fear and in harmony amongst themselves, NESO stated.
Goa Chief Minister Pramod Sawant has said his comments asking parents to introspect what two girls were doing the whole night on a beach after they were raped on Sunday last were taken out of context, while insisting the safety of citizens was a top priority.
Of children, especially the minor ones, has to be a shared responsibility. Our right to security has to be strengthened further with more cautiousness. Children, especially minors, need guidance from the elders, Sawant said in a statement late on Thursday. Sawant said, as the head of a government and as a father of a 14-year-old daughter, he was deeply pained and disturbed over the incident. The pain is inexplicable. So when I spoke about shared responsibility for minor children, it was out of a concern, care and love for my fellow citizens and our children, he said. He said at no point did he try to deny the rights to security. Goa Police has been a truly professional force, especially when it comes to security of women and children. They have already acted swiftly and arrested the accused, and let me assure you that I shall ensure that the culprits get the most stringent punishment under the law.
Both the police forces of Nagaland and Assam have agreed to withdraw from their respective outposts in the Assam and Tirangkong border area, stated Deputy Chief Minister and Home Minister of Nagaland Y. Patton during a meeting with Ausindan, Tirangkong Union, Northern Sumi Union and Tirangkong Naga Youth Front at Chungtia Yimson under Mokokchung District on 30th July.
The Deputy Chief Minister of Nagaland Y. Patton stated that the Chief Ministers of both the states have agreed to withdraw their police forces and maintain a peaceful atmosphere in the border areas. Patton, however, stated that Nagaland State Police will not withdraw from their outposts unless and until Assam Police withdraw from there. He stated that in the past agreements with Assam, both state police forces had agreed to withdraw from the border areas. However, Assam did not withdraw its forces and has in fact increased the number of outposts, whereas Nagaland withdrew its forces. We will not make the mistake again, he stated. Patton also added that one should not test the patience of the government of Nagaland or the Naga people, even as he called on the people not to take law into their own hands, but to approach the state government and work together to solve the issue. He assured at the meeting that he will be available for the people anytime and informed that the border issue is being taken up at the highest level for peaceful resolution. DGP Nagaland John Longkumar appreciated the Tirangkong range people for not taking the matter into their hands and worsening the situation. He further stated that he has spoken with his counterpart in Assam on the issue of withdrawing forces along the disputed area. Commissioner Nagaland Rovilato Moore stated that the difficulty faced by the people on economic blockage and harassment is being taken up in the chief secretary level of both the state and the government machinery is working towards resolving the issues amicably. He also reiterated that physical confrontation should be avoided at any cost. Others who spoke at the meeting included advisor Dr. Longrenikan, DC and SP Mokokchun, President Au Senden, and President Surangkong Union. The meeting was chaired by ADC Mengkolengba. Earlier, the Deputy Chief Minister, along with DGP Commissioner Nagaland, IGP Range, and Joint Secretary Border Affairs, made an aerial survey of Vihoto village and Au Senden village.
Olympian Mary Kom, who was a major medal contender for India, lost against her Colombian opponent by split decisions. 2 judges had given in favor of Colombian boxer, while 2 other judges scored the bout in favor of the Indian boxing legend who had won world championships 6 times. In this connection, Kom's brother Jimmy Levon said that the family is disappointed at the judges' decisions of Thursday's bout. Speaking to Hornbilltv from the Mary Kom Boxing Academy, Levon said that they were expecting Mary Kom to win but turned out otherwise. Further, he expressed disappointment at the way things unfolded and hoped that the scoring system gets improved in the future.
Yeah, what happened, that has happened, but looking forward, justice will be delivered to every athlete in the world. Let's hope for that, for the better sporting environment in future. After the bout, no, we haven't. Of course, we
any message or anything?
A message, of course, we do that. We chat in a message. Otherwise, we don't want to bother her at this. Yeah, her reaction. Yeah, we must have. You must have come across in the news and all others. Yeah, as a sports person in the ring, she accept whatever the decision made by the committee, the judges and all. But yeah, so outside the ring, as per a person, she was a little bit disappointed with the decision that they have made. So that is it. And yeah, so what we would like to say is, Sister Mary, just calm down, and whatever had happened, yes, we have to accept it, and I know you also understand better, and we believe that you are already the legend, and you are still the legend, and you are still the winner for all of us. So cheer, and let us hope for the best in the future that is yet to come.
In other news, France's cybersecurity agency has confirmed the mobile phones of 2 French journalists from the investigative news outlet Mediapart were hacked with the Pegasus spyware, the first instance of such surveillance being detected by a government agency.
The hacking of the phones of Line Brudo and Eudy Planel, the 2 journalists from Mediapart, was earlier detected by Amnesty International Security Lab as part of the reporting by an international consortium of journalists on the targeting of 50,000 phone numbers around the world by clients of the Israeli firm NSO Group, which developed Pegasus. The hacking of the phones with Pegasus was confirmed by IT specialists from ANSSI on Thursday, Mediapart reported. In both cases, the specialists reached the same conclusions as Amnesty International Security Lab regarding the Pegasus infection, its modalities, dates and duration, the report said. The phones of the 2 journalists were checked at the Paris headquarters of ANSSI by specialists from the Central Office for the Fight Against Crime Related to Information and Communication Technologies. This was part of a preliminary investigation launched on July 20 by the public prosecutor of Paris, Remy Heitz, a day after Mediapart filed a formal complaint. This confirmation was recorded during the hearings, during which our 2 journalists explained why both the technical evidence and the chronological context designated the Moroccan intelligence services as the operators of this espionage, Mediapart said in its report in the French. France opened a probe into the matter after it emerged that French President Emmanuel Macron was among those targeted for surveillance, apparently at the behest of Moroccan government agencies. And a SOE group currently at the center of a global controversy over misuse of its Pegasus spyware to hack phones of journalists and politicians has temporarily blocked several government clients from using its technology, an unnamed company told NPR on Thursday.
The Supreme Court on Friday took a suo motu cognizance of the death of a judicial officer in Jharkhand on Thursday and sought a status report on the investigation conducted so far from the Chief Secretary and Director General of Police of the state within a week.
Additional District and Sessions Judge of Dhanbad Uttam Anand was on his morning walk when he was fatally knocked down by a vehicle on Wednesday. A bench of Chief Justice of India N. V. Ramana and Justice Surya Kant took suo motu cognizance of the incident and registered the case as safeguarding courts and protecting judges, deaths of ASG Dhanbad. The Jharkhand High Court has already taken suo motu cognizance of the incident on Thursday. The top court clarified that it does not intend to interfere with the proceedings pending before the High Court. The High Court took serious note of the incident and asked the police to submit details of the case probe. The decision of the top court to take cognizance of the incident is seen as an attempt to monitor the progress of the investigation. Hours after the incident took place, the CJI spoke to Chief Justice of Jharkhand High Court, following which the Secretary General of the Supreme Court took up the matter with the Registrar General of the Jharkhand High Court. The Jharkhand police have registered a first information report based on CCTV camera footage of the incident. A 14-member special investigation team has been constituted and 2 persons have since been arrested. The police have alleged that the 2 were in the auto rickshaw that caused the accident. The auto rickshaw was found to be stolen from Dhanbad.
Pulitzer Prize-winning Indian photojournalist Danish Siddiqui was not simply killed in a crossfire in Afghanistan, nor was he simply collateral damage, but was brutally murdered by the Taliban after verifying his identity, according to a report published in a US-based magazine on Thursday.
Siddiqui, 38, was on assignment in Afghanistan when he died. The award-winning journalist was killed while covering clashes between Afghan troops and the Taliban in Spin Boldak district of Kandahar city. According to the Washington Examiner report, Siddiqui traveled with an Afghan National Army team to the Spin Boldak region to cover fighting between Afghan forces and the Taliban to control the lucrative border crossing with Pakistan. When they got to within 1/3 of a mile of the customs post, a Taliban attack split the team with the commander and a few men separated from Siddiqui, who remained with 3 other Afghan troops. During this assault, shrapnel hit Siddiqui, and so he and his team went to a local mosque where he received first aid. As word spread, however, that a journalist was in the mosque, the Taliban attacked. The local investigation suggests the Taliban attacked the mosque only because of Siddiqui's presence there, the report said. Siddiqui was alive when the Taliban captured him. The Taliban verified Siddiqui's identity and then executed him as well as those with him. The commander and the remainder of his team died as they tried to rescue him, it said. While a widely circulated public photograph shows Siddiqui's face recognizable, I reviewed other photographs and a video of Siddiqui's body provided to me by a source in the Indian government that show the Taliban beat Siddiqui around the head and riddled his body with bullets, wrote the writer Michelle Rubin, who is a senior fellow at the American Enterprise Institute. The Taliban's decision to hunt down, execute Siddiqui and then mutilate his corpse shows that they do not respect the rules of war or conventions that govern the behavior of the global community, the report said.
That's all for the eye. I'm Esther. Keep watching Hornbill TV.